So that was a week ago. That was as I was packing for my trip, and here I am a week later, having just returned from Mendocino, where I went to run the Mendocino Coast 50K, hosted by my good friend Sid Garza-Hillman. And before going, I had this grand vision that I would film the whole trip, come back, put together this awesome video where it highlighted how cool the course was, all the fun things I was doing, and just being able to share that experience with you through video instead of a traditional blog post or a podcast or the other things that I would normally do on Rock Creek Runner. But this was the first time I'd ever done anything like that before, and I learned two very important lessons. The first is that I am terrible at connecting the dots between one cool thing to the next cool thing. And when I got home and looked at all the footage, if you just put it all together, it would make no sense at all. You would have no idea what I'm doing. And two, I am very uncomfortable pulling the camera out and talking to the camera and asking other people to talk to the camera as well. Which means that there were not only gaps in the story, but there were entire characters, and very important characters, that were almost left out entirely. But I still wanted to share this trip with you, but I just gotta come back and forth a little bit from present day to the old stuff to connect the dots and explain some stuff. Alright, let's go to California.
San Francisco local time is 11:55. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened.
It's now first morning here in California. I just finished up some work and am stoked to head up to Mendocino today. I've been in Oakland visiting a friend, and we got out on the trails yesterday. I had an absolute blast. Woke up early this morning, excited to get this thing going. Driving up from San Francisco, and I've hit the redwoods, feeling super pumped about where I am right now. I mean, it's freaking gorgeous out here, and this is just on the side of the road to Mendocino. So the drive from San Francisco up the coast to Mendocino is incredible. You have the redwoods, which you just saw, and then you hit the coastline. You hit Route 1 along the coastline, which is amazing. When you come out of those woods and you're just on the cliffs, it is breathtaking. Here, take a look. After I arrived in Mendocino, I met Sid at the Stanford Inn, and then he pretty much immediately took me back to his place where he put me to work. See, he is race directing the Mendocino Coast 50K. This is the second year that he has done it. I did go out there last year and had a total blast. Katie came with me. We had this whole big trip to Sonoma. It was romantic and awesome. We just found out we were pregnant. She didn't get to drink alcohol. I did. Anyway, Sid invited me to come back this year to help him out with some of the prep and some of the day of stuff, and also to go run the race. So that is exactly what I did, and he put me to work as soon as we arrived. Do you want to, should we just do, pick one thing and just go ahead and do all of them at the same time?
That's a good idea.
Now that we have it all set up.
The way you think, Doug, is very, very impressive. So let's label all those.
We spent the last several hours putting together some of the aid station stuff. We got it all loaded up in the U-Haul here. Still more stuff to come, but let's take a look at what we got in here. Coke, V-Fuel gels, V-Fuel mix, all the stuff you need to make PB&Js, runner lists, first aid, chips, kale chip, peanut butter and jelly, pitchers, Numinos, and then of course tons of water, coolers, and all the fruit and all the other snacks and stuff is still to come. It's gonna be a good aid station. Right, guys?
Yeah.
After loading up the truck, it was pretty much early to bed because Sid had to get up very early. He was running the entire course to check for markings, add additional markings. I don't think very many race directors do that. I think it's awesome. And I was gonna go out and crew him and support him throughout the day. I took a ton of footage out on the course while I was out there with Sid.
Yep, that's a pretty big tree.
But I'm going to save all that for race day so that you can get a little bit more of a feel for what it was like to actually run the race, since I didn't film at all during the race. But of course, Friday wasn't all about following Sid around. It was about picking up my packet for the race, playing a round of pre-race disc golf, and enjoying my time in California, which leads us to race day. I am out here on the Mendocino 50K start, getting my last things ready, putting on the lube and getting ready. It's cold and windy, but it's a beautiful day out here. We got about 15-20 minutes.
Three, two, one. All right, runners. Have fun, you guys. Have fun. You guys will kill it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Go.
Cut to footage I shot on the course yesterday. The Mendocino Coast 50K is hands down one of the most beautiful courses I have ever seen. You start along the cliffs, you run through the redwoods, you finish on a flat section along a river back up to the ocean, and it is just stunningly beautiful the entire time. My race, well, it went all right. I came in with less training than I would have liked, but I was able to rely on some good nutrition strategies and pacing, and I just made sure that I was having fun. And if I could keep that positive attitude, then I could just continue to push. And I totally left everything I could out on that course. When I crossed that finish line, I gave Sid a hug.
Congratulations, Doug.
Thanks, man. It was awesome
I got my arm around you even though you're super sweaty. That's how much I love you.
I appreciate it.
We talked for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and then it was straight to the car where I passed out for like 20 minutes. But after waking up, I felt so good. And one thing I really love about this race is that so many people hang out afterwards. They put the finisher's tent and all the food and stuff before you actually get to the finish line. So people are hanging out there, and when you run into the finish line, everyone's cheering you on and celebrating your race. It's cool. So they had this sick burrito bar, plenty of beers, and lots of good tunes and good times. As the rest of the runners came in, it was just a fantastic day, and it really embodied the spirit of trail and ultra running that so many of us look for. And that was kind of it. We started breaking things down about 10 hours after the race got started, went back to Sid's place, made some dinner, had a few drinks, and called it a night. But like all good things, this too had to come to an end. It was goodbye to Sid and family, back to Oakland for another night with my friend, a bike ride to a brewery. And then after a fantastic weekend, it was back to the airport and back home. So I know this is a lot different than the typical race report that I would normally do for this type of thing. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of video footage of the race, of the event, of my weekend. Yeah, that's it. Thanks so much, Sid, for inviting me. Thank you for putting on an incredible race, and I will definitely be back. Maybe I'll see you there.